And he said, stop. And it was Hoyler. Hoyler was in the room, and Hoyler started laughing. And he said something in Portuguese, and I said, what did he say? And he said, you're using força, strength, too much strength. I said, well, ask him, how can I stop being choked if I don't use strength, if I have to stop the attack? And then they laughed some more. And he said, he tells you, you don't fight the attack. You don't stop the attack. Now, I'm thinking, well, let me just go home, And he said, no, you don't defend the attack. That's what he said. You defend the preparation for the attack.
Wow.
And then you don't need strength. So what he meant was, and you know this, when he put the one hand in the gi, up here, as soon as this is riding up, the other hand, your hand goes on his other bicep.
Don't let it in.
And you don't have to hold it hard. Just put it there. Because now he needs the other hand. So every single thing that Helio Gracie did was based on that principle. He was always one move ahead of anybody else. So that you never got started with him. And that was a tremendous lesson.
Wow. So that's how you
And
started.
that's the secret that when they say don't use strength, you use strength. Now, when he got the choke, you
Then
felt
use
strength. But that was the only time he did that.
Yeah.
So they
that was
they finally made you wear the pajamas. And
Yes.
then and they asked you to lay down and they got on top of you. The beginning of the story is kind of funny,
Yeah.
But now, how many years later now, how long you been doing this, sir?
Well, I mean, I haven't done it now since the big pandemic because I had a couple injuries. And then Horian, and the boys had a little falling out. So, that's not the same thing now. I'm thinking, in fact, I talked to Henner a couple days ago and Hiron, and they want me to come back and do a class like once a week or something. But I got to talk to Horian because, there's all that family stuff that you have to navigate.
Yeah. There's always
But I did it. It took me 16 years to get the black belt, and when I got it, I said, this must come naturally to me. But I trained another 4 or 5, I think. I'm not good with time, but I've been doing it a long time.
Yes, and I've heard great things about you through Rob. But I have a news for you. I just started jiu-jitsu. I just got my white belt, so no stripes yet. But I am very lucky to have Rob here with us with the academy. We've been in business for 41 years, and I've gone through some Brazilian jiu-jitsu instructors in the past, but we have never had anyone at the level that and the way he teaches just the students.
Rob is great.
Yeah, absolutely. We're very lucky to have him.
You know what's so funny, Ed? To this day, like when I'm teaching the fundamentals, it's like I just channel Horion Gracie.
Yes.
Like the same. I catch myself snapping the fingers.
Yes.
Like,
And the other thing, how he breathes. Remember how he used to breathe?
I catch myself doing that all the time.
And I asked him, why do you do that? That weird sound. You sound like a bird. He said, I remind myself, if I breathe out, you have to breathe in. So you're not holding your breath when you're going for a move because you're going to tie yourself out.
Yeah.
It's an energy efficient system,
I've always said, like, if I was designing the perfect training game plan, I would send somebody to Horion for the first 2 years because there's nobody on the planet who can break down the basics better than Horion Gracie.
No, he is a great, probably the greatest teacher that I've ever had in anything.
I agree.
So if you hear all this stuff about the UFC, I hear these things about how this thing has evolved. I don't know about evolving. I know the calf kicks, and they're not new, by the way. The calf kicks, they're effective, but the cage, they've learned to fight on the cage.
Yeah,
you're gonna take down a wrestler on the cage. You take them down in a parking lot. But the other thing is, you never give your back up. Now, in UFC, as soon as the guy gets mounted, what does he do? He can't stay down or he loses
Yeah.
the fight.
Loses
So
the fight.
now I call that stupid fighting because they're rolling over to their stomach.
Yeah.
Choke them, right?
Yeah.
That's what you want them to do. So they can't roll over. If you get mounted, stay there. But of
Yeah.
course, it's a sport. I get it. They can't do that. You know what I mean? They got it.
absolutely.
They want action. They want action.
Yeah, it's definitely obviously jiu-jitsu fits very well into MMA, but jiu-jitsu it's not a perfect match. Like there's a lot of things, like you said, we can do when you don't have to worry about losing the round.
Yes.
Like you said, we could just stay there. Like, okay, you're here.
You know what Horian said to me one time, and I never forgot it. He said, we were talking about this sort of thing, and he said, if you're in a plane, a little plane, and it crashes in the middle of the ocean, you by yourself, you get out of the plane in the water because the plane is sinking. What do? Well, if no one's coming to help, you start to swim. But if you know a helicopter's on the way, you just
Tread water.
tread water. You don't have to swim. That's what UFC is.
Yep.
They have rounds.
Yep.
So you look at the clock, you don't have to fight. You just have to defend.
Yep. 100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Well, that changes the game.
And the other thing is when they teach these guys, most of these guys come from a grappling background. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's changed that, but look at the Russians. I mean, those guys, they're
Killing
so good at taking people down.
Yeah.
That's their secret, right?
You know, the guys from where
Those guys.
he's from, Dagestan, their submission game is on point too. They're very
Well,
good.
it's not as good as the Hickson Gracie guys, but it's the takedowns and the control
Is phenomenal.
is phenomenal, right? They're ragdoll, these guys.
Yeah.
In fact, now I don't even think they have Dana White has to be careful who he matches those guys up with because he's got certain fighters he wants to stay
Protected.
making money,
Yeah.
and these guys will go through all of them.
Yeah.
You got to you got to be lucky. And that's the way it used to be in every aspect of fighting. A wrestler would always beat a striker
Yeah.
because they just take you down. It's easier to take a guy down than hit a guy right directly on the fucking point of the chin to knock him out.
Yep.
If he comes in covered up, right? So, but the Russians, they've eclipsed that. They know how to take you down because wrestlers have better takedowns than jiu-jitsu guys.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it's a whole different thing. I don't know. It's a weird thing. They have to keep action going. They only give bonuses now, basically to knockouts.
Yeah.
They don't want guys submissions. It's boring to Dana, and those guys. They're smart that way, business wise. But don't tell me it's a real fight.
Yeah.
It's not like a real fight.
Yeah. No, it's a sporting event now for sure.
It's a sporting event. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's obviously a lot of the skill sets they're developing there apply very well to a street fight, but it's not a street fight.
Absolutely.
Anytime you have a referee,
And psychologically, it's not a street fight.
Yeah.
Which is one of the biggest problems in a street fight. In a street fight, you can die,
Yeah.
and there's no tapping out. It's like Hickson said, in a street fight, in the ring, you tap, I stop hitting you. In the street, I stop hitting you when I feel like it.
Exactly right. Who was like your favorite? I mean, you've been doing this longer than I have. Like, who was your favorite, like guest instructor or like non-regular instructor? Like, you popped in somewhere and took a class with so-and-so. Who like impressed you the most? Not of your main instructors, Horian and those guys.
Well, I didn't do a whole lot of that because Horian said I shouldn't. I did it once in Canada when I was doing a movie, and I had a guy there who was a French Canadian who had a black belt. And
Okay.
he was jiu-jitsu, but it was the old Japanese stuff, with the manipulation of the fingers and stuff like that. and he didn't like the Gracies because he said